So what's going on, pros? This is Mike with another Dirty Promotions video. I'm in my office here in McAllen, Texas, and guess what? I have a surprise. What are you taking out, man? Take out the guns. Take them out. I have a surprise guest for you, and we're going to shoot the shit about window film and what he is doing in my neck of the woods here in McAllen, Texas. Gentleman from Odessa, Texas. Midland, Odessa, no?
Yeah, same thing.
Midland, Odessa, Lonestar?
No, Sunstoppers.
Come on, man.
Okay, yes.
Lonestar Window Films. His name, the one and only Mr. Sergio Medrano. Your face is not on the thing here, but you will need to sit in your chair because we're going to do a little dirty interview right now. And you can take out more guns. Why don't you take them all out?
Oh.
You can take the Makitas out and tell me what's going on with those guns. Take them all out, man. Let me go ahead and close the door. Alright, man, so what's up with them guns? You like them or what? You never thought they were real?
Oh, these are worth $1 million.
Sergio Medrano here from Lonestar Window Tint. He currently transformed, did something with Sunstoppers, so now he's a Sunstopper shop.
The first Sunstopper.
Eh?
It's the first.
The first.
In Texas.
Oh, in Texas. First in Texas. Well, that's quite an accomplishment. That's pretty good. But I want to know something about Sergio and what's up. Why did Sergio come directly to my closet to look at these heat guns that are no longer made? What do you like about them?
If you're an OG tinter, you know what they are. I mean, if you've been tinting at least before 2010, 2012, you know what the value is on these. I mean,
that happens to be a used one. There's a brand new one in there, never been even used in its life. Can you identify it? Take them all up.
Let me tell you. This one.
Is that the one that's never been used? The casing has 0 scratches. Nada.
Yeah.
Never been used.
This has burn marks. No, there has to be this one. This one's brand new.
Brand new. Never been used.
This one's been unused, obviously.
Never? Oh, okay, yeah. I put that tape on there.
This is...
Sacala. Pull it up.
This is my favorite.
Why?
Because I have 2 of them still. They're alive.
Just don't break the packaging. It's brand new in the box. Sacala. What can you tell me about that gun, by the way?
Super lightweight. I'm like esa.
Well, have you read the description of the weight on both of them? CFM, did all that kind of stuff. I give this tips and tricks away to the people on the internet for the taking, and you know they still come up with other things that they like, and it's cool. I mean, when you're in the know about the guns, well, you're in the know, and I happen to know a lot about these guns. If you take a look at where they're developed, do you have an idea where the European bloc is? European bloc is just an area where, in Europe, and Czechoslovakia, could be made in Germany, could be made here. Those areas that you know, kind of like an assembly plant, and they sell the same motors and the same this, the same that. So when I found out myself by looking and CFMs and all that kind of stuff, that when they actually did away with the Makita HG 1100, this guy, I ran into him by accident, and I didn't know at the time, but like a decade later, once when I was doing more research and whatever, I started looking at some of the snap-on guns, but snap-on como que ya, that generation of snap-ons, although they're made maybe in Germany or this or that, they're a lot heavier. They don't have the CFMs. They changed. I think Snap-on told them to develop something different for them, and no sirve. The Snap-on ones I could care less. I have it because I needed to try it. I really thought it was a Steinel or whatever. Steinel is also made in the European bloc. Anything made in Europe, from rifle scopes to rifles, you know, it's pretty much the best glass in the world. And of course, their technologies and all that related to like what you have in your hand, it's all pretty top notch. But esa no me gustó. That one I'm just going to throw it away. It probably has some broken elements. They all work, by the way, but 100% working, but I'm not using them.
Hey, but there's some special.
Well, it's brand new in the box, and I bought it because it's brand new. Now, special or not?
It's made in the Czech Republic.
Oh yeah, of course. Some of these Makitas are made in the Czech Republic. Some are made in Germany. Some I think are made in Sweden, stuff like that. So that's what's special about those type of guns. And I've told some of my friends on the internet, like, don't spread the word out. And they use them. They buy them on eBay for like $50 and whatever used. And fuck, man, they're like, dude, this is the best fucking gun ever. Like, yeah, I know, but just don't spread that word around. So anyway, I'll put it in the box a little bit later. Can you box it up exactly what it was, or not really? If you can, I'll do it myself.
No, you do it.
I'll do it a little bit later. Nada se va a cambiar. Everything's still in the box, original cherry. So I bought it. Yeah, it's
worth a lot.
If you were looking in my installation bays there in the back, and you saw that 4 of the 8 guns are Milwaukee's and the other 4 are Makita. I mean, I could have all Makitas, but I don't want to because I don't want to run, out of them. Because once I run out of these ones, there's no more. I've tried looking for them, and it's not in once in a year and stuff like that, but it's a rarity. It's a rarity. So, Sergio Medrano, I'm glad you're here in McAllen, Texas. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, like, a little bit about yourself. Like, you're from Midland. Were you born and raised in Midland? Did you started working there? When did you start as a tinner? Why you started as a tinner? What do you currently do right now? Because I know that you also play in a band.
That's correct. I do play in a band. Mike, I was born in Midland. It's a town between it's called Midland because it's between El Paso and Dallas. It's halfway point.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the very first time in my life I ever heard that. So that's Midland is because it's between
El Paso and Dallas on the interstate on I-20. That's why it's called Midland.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's where they got the name.
Okay, so you live in Midland.
Midland, Odessa is 20 minutes away.
That's
If
cool.
you've seen Friday Night Lights, that's Odessa. But I was born in Midland, 97. I'm 23 years old.
23 years old.
23 years old. I opened my shop when I was 19. August of 2017.
19 to 20 is only 4 years.
Yeah.
But when did you start
like 20 or 19? When my mom, she was a single parent. In 04, in June of 04, she married my stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather's from El Paso, and he's the reason he's the guinea pig that got me into the tint industry. When he got me into the tint, I remember he would wear a Johnson blue shirt, and I always asked him, "What is that?"
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was. So one day, I was about when I started growing up. When I was around 13 years old, my dad every summer when school was out, he'd take me with him to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
What he'd make me do is he'd make me clean windows. He'd make me strip tin off on old cars, old Grand Marquis. I got to get my hands scraped with those old Nissan cars, the old Mercedes, all that, the old Audis. I got to see all of that.
Now, those are all different cars. They're not fucking cheesy-ass Ford pickups and Chevy pickups. Those are very difficult
Those
cars.
are very difficult. I got to see how he would take the carpet out. I got to see all that. I got to see the Monte Carlo. I got to see all those paint-the-bug cars, the Bubble Impala, that one, the 99 Camaro where you have to wrap it around the glass. Anyway, todo eso.
Yeah, but see, that information is very important because you actually come from a very good school. You're fucking young as fuck, and you probably don't even care. At 13, I was probably whacking off or something, and you're over there, with the most difficult cars.
Yeah.
And maybe it went over your head like, well, I don't know, man, it's just work for me. But what do you think now when you fucking get one of those cars and like, okay, I'm 23, but when I was 13, I kind of remember doing that car. Does it come back to you or no?
No. I didn't start tinting till I graduated high school. My father wanted me to finish my education.
Good.
Reason is because a lot of tinners in the industry, they're the dinosaurs. They just work, go home, and they don't have a retirement plan. You know, they just work for themselves. Most of them, they don't want to work for someone else. Anyway, long story short, so my dad's always worked for himself for years.
But I do want to make the long story. I want to know this information. You have information, and people would like to know. This is gold. So anyway, all the old tinners, right? They have their own deal. Mm-hmm. They're solo. They have their own shop.
And there's many of them.
Many of them, yes.
Many of them.
And then? So you did your high school.
I did. I went to high school. I went to early college. I didn't have the typical high school. I took college courses while I was 17, 16 years old in college classrooms. I got my associate's degree when I was 18 and my high school diploma for free at the same time. So,
awesome, man.
So I was going to do my bachelor's in finance. I don't know. I just like the finance, how they worked, you know, how they dressed every day, office, you know, typical. So I said, well, I want to give finance a try. And I said, no, this is not for me. I remember I was doing my bachelor's at UTPB in Odessa, and I was going to do finance, and I remember I spoke to a guy that was a financial consultant for Edward Jones at the time.
Sure.
A friend of mine. And he told me his lifestyle and stuff, and I didn't like it. I said, I don't want to do that the rest of my life.
Well, some people like to do boring, and it's cool.
Yeah, and to me, what he was doing was boring. Just doing numbers, running the stock market, doing all this. So anyway, Mike, real quick, I went to my dad. I had a little high. Here's the problem too. I forgot to mention. It was really hard for me and my pops to work together. Mm-hmm. So it came to a point where he was always motivated, and I was more chill. So our personalities did not click. Because I'd be laid back, and he wanted me to be doing stuff like him. He would just not stop until he went to sleep, literally. So it came to a point where I said, you know what, Dad, I can't work with you. I can't work with you. Working with family is hard. So he said, well, get out of here. I don't need you then. So he kept doing his thing, but I still knew how to prep windows. I knew how tint worked. I knew a little bit about how but I didn't have hands-on. But I saw it every day of my life. And he told me, watch out for these cars, watch out for this, watch out for fail. So he gave me little things that helped me out immediately. I learned how to tint in 6 months. Seriously, in 6 months. When I was in high school, I was a butcher or cutting meat at Sam's for $16 an hour. Mm-hmm. And then an opportunity came up in town that some guy was trying to build a tint shop. And I said, hey, maybe I could help him out. So I went and tried. Epic failure. I scratched glass, I burned moldings. I really didn't know what I was doing. So that same week, I went and cried to my dad and I said, hey, I don't want to do college. I don't want to do that. Let me help you run the business. That way you can get out of here and I can run it. He said no and no and no. I had to cry to him until one day he said, look, I'm only going to show you once and you better pay attention. He started showing me the cuts. You know, you lay the film, you can use a straight edge, you cut here, you cut there. Some of the windows roll this way, some of them shift this way, the chargers with the peanuts, how he did it, all that, the Dodge, you know, how it has a felt, and he taught me all that. And he always told me, you can't do, like, for example, a Chevy pickup in an hour, then you're not a tinter. So I was programmed that at a young age. Mm-hmm. But one of the things my dad did, he was a hand cutter. He never believed in plotters.
What age were you when you went to your dad that you were helping him? That you said that, you know, you were already helping him. What age was that?
13, 14.
13, 14. No, but you said something. I don't want to do college. I don't do this. I don't do that. And you went to your dad. No.
Yeah, I begged him.
Yeah, but what age was that? It wasn't 13.
I was 18, 19, 18.
18. Okay.
18, 19.
So of course he already helped you with the prep and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of your fundamentals, like I said, maybe it went over your head because your head wasn't in the game yet. You know, it's just a job for me.
There you go. That's what it was.
Y luego ya ahora at 18 or 19, was it because you didn't want to do banking that you thought you wanted to do tint? Or was it you really liked tint? Or that was just your second best option?
No, I'm going to tell you from the bottom of my heart why.
Good.
Tint. I wanted to help my dad.
Okay.
I wanted to help him. I saw how every day he'd do 10, 8 cars and he was beat up the end of the day.
Yes, it's fucking... Yes,
He was burning in a hot shop all day with porta-cool fan because it was just every day repetitive, and he would just complain how he said he never had help. And I felt for him. I always, you know, I never met my real father.
Mm-hmm.
I never met my real father, so he raised me when I was 6 years old. He took over, he put a roof over my head, he fed me. And to me, that to me is a father.
Yes.
Anyway, and he taught me a lot about work ethic. He always told me, if you have a poor work ethic, nobody's going to want you. Nobody. And he always told me, you got to be responsible, you got to pay your bills, you got to be this, you got to be on time. He was a great guy. But anyway, the real reason I got in was that I never saw the money. I never knew how much you could make in it. I never saw that.
You didn't know how much you charged?
I didn't even know what to charge. I was over there charging a full pickup $100 because I didn't know what to charge.
Okay.
I was not into that. My main focus was to help my dad get out of there.
Cool.
But I didn't know.
You're 18 at the time.
I
Or
was 19. And I still have customers when I first started come to me that still remember when I started with my dad. This was about 3-4 years ago. They remember. And but anyway, I came to the point where you know, with family, there was times that we bumped heads from what I told you. Mm-hmm. Just we'd have a heated argument, we'd bring it home. And it got a little old, you know, we'd be having the same discussion. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go. Oh, this is when A&E came in. When A&E started at a Texarkana,
sure.
What a coincidence! I remember I stole this little envelope from his desk, and it had that. And I called up there and I said I wanted to buy some film, and then he said, "Oh, Don, who just passed away, came to the shop and he sold me some film for $100-200. I didn't know anything about film. My dad was using Manical SunGuard at that time. He was buying out of Dallas, and he would buy a little bit of Johnson. He would use X-Sun as well from
Florida?
Yeah, Florida. Anyway, he used a little bit of that to protect guard, but he was a big Medical guy for years.
Cool.
Medical and Johnson.
I used Medical for many years, and they had a lot of great lines that I used, and I thought it was the world's biggest great film. There was really no competitors back then.
Nope.
A decade or two ago that I used them, and great people. Anyway, go ahead.
But my dad used he ordered there out of Fort Worth. He used to order from Johnson as well. I remember at that time, that's when the whole windshield 70% was starting to get popular. Mm-hmm. The ceramic back in 15, 16. I remember he would try to sell it to the customer, and the customer would I guess ceramic wasn't a big deal like it is now. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I would just remember.
But this is only 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, but remember, I was still helping him like a little helper. I'd sweep the shop, clean the restroom.
You weren't tinting yet.
No, he didn't want to teach me how to tint because he wanted me to finish my school.
Because
he was afraid.
You're 18, 19 already.
No, that 18, 19. That's when I started to learn how to tint.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the era we're discussing. That way we don't get lost. So your dad always used the good stuff, the Medical, the Johnson. To me, I used it before, and you know, I mean, they were very decent films for what I knew on the internet, kind of like you. So when did what was your shop always Lonestar Window Tint? That was your father's original name?
Well, I got the name. My dad's from El Paso.
Cool. Okay.
And in El Paso, there's too much competition like there is in the Valley.
Sure.
You know, he was tinting over there on Alameda Street, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got out of Vietnam, they offered him a job to tint. Nobody knew how to tint, but they started doing tint in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
So he opened a shop with his uncle, I don't know who, and they called it Lonestar Tinting at the time. Back in the late 80s, I'm assuming.
Sure.
He told me. But anyway, and I grabbed that name and it stayed in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in August of 17, well, I left him because we just couldn't click, right? Remember what I told you? We couldn't click.
When you were younger, yes.
Yeah, I was 18 at this time. 19.
Oh, okay.
19.
And then you left again?
Yeah, we bumped heads a lot.
A lot, okay.
And it was just like, I can't, and I'd complain to my mom, I can't deal with his attitude, you know, and I can't learn with him anyway. But little did I know, and now that I'm in the industry now a lot, there's a lot of guys like him. And I don't blame them because now I know. Now that been in the field a little while, I know why they tend to react that way. Because imagine tinting 8 to 7 cars by yourself all day, full windshield, in the hot heat, and you still got to answer the phone, and you still got to go do this. the last thing you want to do is be naya. Then you just fed up, especially in the summer, and then you're sweating, you're pouring, your back. There's no AC. The customer's calling you. Another guy's calling you. Hey, and like they. Anyway, he never had time. He would have to. He never could take us out of town because he had to work, or he'd make more money on the weekends, or whatever. I'm going a little off track.
No, you're perfect on track. I mean, this history has to do with a lot of people, resonates with a lot of people that actually do it. I have no one in my family that has anything to do with tint. It was my own shit, my own idea about that I didn't want to ever bag groceries for H-E-B, which is a local store like Kroger and whatever.
Yeah.
Albert's. I never wanted to be that guy. Somehow in my head, I was not that person. I was destined to be something greater in my mind, you know. And also, like you, I went to the university and I said, I'm going to be a fucking accountant. I think it's cool because I could do numbers left and right. Little did I know that the numbers that I knew were like basic math, sub of algebra, meaning like a little bit less than algebra. I knew very well, like fucking left and right. And I thought and then I got into accounting, and it was the most boring fucking profession ever. And I said, no, man, I don't want to be an accountant because I'm going to look like my teacher, and he's fucking boring as fuck.
No.
And then I ran into the tinting thing, you know, the newspaper, and I went out there to get hired, and then the rest is history. But anyway, back to you. So you're 18, you're 19, you left your dad again because you're bumping heads. When did you ever go back? Did you and your father currently work together or no?
No, we cannot work together. We're actually to this day we're competitors down the street.
Oh my God! When did you get your own shop?
August 7, 2018.
So
that's when I got the shop.
So how many years have you had your shop?
Like a shop, 3.
Okay, so Lonestar,
I was mobile for a year.
Lonestar Window Tint is you, and your father has his shop.
Yes.
And he still has the same
name for
problems
years.
And the heat and the this and that. He's gonna do that forever.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to keep in the window film? Because it's all you know? Because I asked you about why did you do it as a second job, and you said it was because you wanted to help your father. Okay, now you open your own store, Lonestar Window Tint, 2-3 years ago. Why? Because you really love, or you kind of is getting to you the profession, you're really liking it? Is it growing on you, or what's going on with that?
It's just growing on me. It's growing on me tremendously. And then second, you make great amount of money, but you can make a lot of money in a lot of industries.
In anything, you can fucking sell pineapples, and if you do it very well,
you know. And I have young guys look at me. Oh, I know you make a lot of money because you charge. No, no, that's what you think. It really is that way. If you think just because I charge this car $800, no, there's more to it.
A lot more.
There's a lot more to it. There's really,
and that's why we're in this interview, because a lot of the people ask me the same questions over and over and over again. If it's not in the forums, it's going to be in DM. You know, they message me and they ask, man, you know, I want to leave my shop, and what do you think? How much money do I need? And you can answer those questions. Answer it for them.
I grew up.
How much money do you think it takes? You were in mobile. The very first thing you did was be a mobile tinner, right?
Yeah, worst thing. I learned a lot.
Well, I was a mobile tinner when I began my shit like fucking 30-some years ago.
I'll never forget it, Mike. It was tough.
It is. In Odessa, it's fucking hot. People don't know how hot it is. It is very, very, very hot.
And it's dry, and then a lot of dirt everywhere.
Okay, you're mobile, but your dad's, you know, all your tips and tricks and everything you learned from your dad, you kind of like had to remember him on the go.
Oh, it was
like,
hard.
let me put him.
And then when somebody would call me with a car I never did, it was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? No, here's the funny thing. You're not going to believe me. When I went mobile, I could not do a full back glass on a car. So when people would call me for a car, I would play dumb. So when I opened my shop, there's a Tin World there in my town.
Oh wow,
yeah, there is.
Tin World is everywhere.
Yeah,
we don't have one here in the valley, but cross your changuitos. I don't want them to be around. It don't bother me. I
wouldn't worry about them. I really wouldn't. But when they came into when they opened Tin World is when I was opening my shop.
Yeah, the
exact same time. Pedro, great guy. He has a worker there. His name's Albert, great guy. I called him one day and I said, hey. I had knew him from a buddy from school that kind of tint. And now he really tints too. He's an Audubon guy in my town. And he, but here's the thing. I respect that guy a lot because I remember he had his back window on a Tahoe. And he said, look, this is just how you do it. He just showed me the squiggly. You go from there. I said, are you serious? Was that? Because it's not that he didn't want to teach me. He didn't know how, or he just, that's just how I did. I just figured it out. So there I was, scared to death, because I was squiggling, and am I going to crease it? And then I remember my buddy had a Pontiac G6, an 05 model.
Mm-hmm. Man, those are pain in the dick, man.
I was out there, but I got it. It's a mental thing. I think tint is a huge mental thing. If you're not living in the present, if you're focused in the future, you're focused in the past, you're not going to get crap done. It can be an easy Ford, like your guys were doing back there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to mess it up because you're not mentally there.
Okay.
So, okay. So there I was, and this is when I first opened in August. There I was trying to shrink because I know people were going to call me for cars. I mean, not everybody drives trucks. I mean, so I was there like I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. Then I tried to install. I remember my dad did Frankenstein. He was old school.
Yeah.
So I was there grabbing the film. It fell in between my hands, and I wanted to give up. I remember the first Chrysler I did. It took me all day to do it because I didn't know what I was doing. I kept getting peanuts. Cool thing is, thank God for Facebook, I started messaging guys that tinted in town.
When did you start to use Facebook? When did you realize there was actually some fucking tinners on Facebook?
Oh man.
For me, it was like 7 or 8 years ago. Before, my world here in the valley was disconnected from the whole fucking world. Yeah. I was the only one that tinted in my world, the best of the best and whatever. I went to competition, blah blah blah. But then Facebook came up and I go, fuck, I'm just a little ant here in this ant pile. There's a lot of great tinners out there, and I wanted to meet them all. Anyway, go ahead. When did you start using Facebook more and more for tinting?
As soon as I left my dad.
What year was that? 3 years ago? 4 years? 17? 17. So like 7 years ago. Same time as me then, 7 years ago.
I was just really into the Facebook thing. I started adding a lot of tinners. I started getting in the groups. I started, getting more into the industry. Mm-hmm. I started watching a lot of YouTube. I started watching Ralph's videos. I started watching, all that,
Yeah,
and
of course.
I thought, oh my God, well, there I was. And I told myself, I have to make this work because I had already invested about $5,000, $6,000 into the shop. I bought, some mare. I kind of tried to mimic my dad's shop, but little did I know that, it's a lot more money than I thought. I was like, oh shit. And then at that time, Midland was still booming from oil fields.
Of course.
So commercial was high. And I met this lady, she leased me a little bay in the corner of Marinfield and Front Street by downtown.
Yes.
That place is no longer there. A church bought it up. Anyway, but that little place was a detail place. And there used to be a tinner there from Las Cruces. But he ended up going back. He never came back. And it was empty one day. And I called her and I said, ma'am, would you lease me that little bay for 10? She said, sure. Give me $600 a month, which I thought was a lot. No heater, no AC, no nothing. There I was, grabbing heat from the floor, with little spray bottles. That's how I started. Mm-hmm. And there I was trying. There was days I had to give away a lot of free work at first because I didn't know what I was doing. I felt bad because I'm a real emotional guy, Like if the customer's not happy, I get a little emotional about it, I try to make them happy. But now that I've grown and I've educated myself, sometimes it's best just to let's go hustle, let's move on. People move on. That's something Mike Burke taught me too. Anyway, that's a different story. So I started doing that, and then one day, 6 months later, I get a call from the lady from the place that the owner of the whole property was going to sell to a church. So what do you mean? I just established myself. Sorry. So now I had to move. And the bad thing about when you establish yourself in one place, you start moving everywhere. I had to move 4 times.
Oh shit.
Okay. So from there, I started, Googling buildings and stuff. Oh, $12 a square foot. Holy crap, that's a lot of money. You go from $600 to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. That's a huge difference.
Now, what you said about the square foot and whatever, I've never rented like that in my life. Never. I was mobile. I rented a space but it had nothing to do with square feet. It was just a space where I made hundreds of thousands of dollars because my work ethic was probably like your dad. I had to do a lot, and I did a lot because I loved what I did, and the customers put pressure on me because the demand was so big. It was back in the Clinton days. Money was in the industry. Gente tiraba dinero.
Because the economy was really well.
The economy was booming. Why, I don't know. It was just, and then we had El Nino or something. It was like hot for like 3 years, 100 degrees. It never rained. So the demand and all those kind of things, kind of like, we're making anywhere from 20-some, 30 to 35 cars a day in one fucking bay.
I believe.
And it's just a lot of work.
Too much work. Too much damn work.
Well, anyway, I don't even remember why I said, that's all I did. So I never I didn't know the costing of rent or the size. But I made people talk about, like what you said, like a square foot. It went over my head. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I can rationalize $600 to 3 fucking G's. And that's what people here are asking me. Like, Mike, you think it's good that they charge me 3 G's? And I don't know how to answer that. All I can answer people is like, look, I tinted a lot of cars. I saved a lot of money because I knew that, well, my parents taught me, save everything because in the future, you never know. Right. And then I wanted my own building and plus all this stockpiles of money and good credit with the bank, plus I got myself a building. You and your deal, because you're talking to the people that move businesses, they lose their shit over like, fuck, man. What am I going to do now? Because I'm in this place. I was the same way. I had to move 4 blocks from over there where I was renting to this building, and I didn't know if my customers are going to follow me.
Yeah, you will lose customers. You will. But my dad always told me, if you do good work, great service, people will follow you. But sometimes you're going to lose them on the way. I had people, my father moved out just twice, 2 or 3 times in his whole life. But he was in one place for 14 years, 10 years, 11 years. And then, long story. But, so when I moved out of that place, I met this guy, and this landlord guy had a lot of properties in town, a lot of them. And what a coincidence, when I call him, I say, hey, would you lease me a bay or a shop? He's like, well, here's the thing, buddy. I have a contract with Tint. I can't lease to you. I said, great. Yeah. And Midland's not a huge town, but it's not little either. But
what's the population there? Where you, Midland?
It has grown, I can't say.
100,000, 150,
yeah.
200?
Yeah. Odessa's bigger.
Okay.
But they're around there. But in 2008, when Obama got elected and when the oil field went, we saw a lot of people come into that town. A lot of stores open.
Just throwing money left and right.
It was people building apartment complexes everywhere, stores, malls. It just grew and, anyway. And with that, tinters came in too.
Oh, wow.
So, my dad didn't like that. Because my dad opened his shop there in Midland in 96. But he got to Midland in 94. He worked for a dealership, the Chevy house.
Cool.
But the owner was awesome. He let him do side work all day. So, for free money, no rent. But this was back in the 90s. But then again, nobody knew how to do one-piece back windows. Mm-hmm. And he knew how, but he said it wasn't that easy doing those old 85 Corvettes, 89 Corvettes with the little defrost that extends. Oh, hell no, I'm sorry. I got to see that, and that to me is... Anyway, so I left, and he wouldn't lease to me because of Timberwolf. They were like, oh no, I need 5 miles away from them. Mm-hmm. He said, I got an idea, give me some time. So there I was, freaking out. I was running out of time. I was going to lose my shop, and I was just going to... People were going to think I went out of business. So he found me a place, and it was a big old warehouse just for a little tint. A big warehouse, like a freaking Walmart.
Okay.
It felt like a huge warehouse. I'm like, you serious? You're going to put me here? I'm going to have to keep you hidden from them. But he didn't keep me hidden. What it was is just he couldn't have me close to them. So I had to be 5 miles away from them. That's the contract.
Was he the owner of the building or what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he said, I'm just going to have... So he pretty much pushed me out of city limits. So there I was, tinting in a big old hot warehouse. And then the wintertime, it was freezing. It was, man, you're oh my God. I had a little go, my mom had to let me borrow her credit so I can go get a bullet, the little.
Yeah, the hot.
There I was putting kerosene every freaking, like a stupid, anyway. And there I was warming up my bottle so I could tint in the winter.
My God.
And I'll never forget that. And I had to buy little stand-up lights, you know, you use for ceramic coating.
Okay.
Stand-up ones. Bro.
Yeah.
They would hurt my eyes trying to cut.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have enough lighting, and so that was that. And then he says, hey, I need the place. So what now? I'm going to move you to another place. He put me more farther out of town.
Oh, my God.
I was in the south side of town.
I don't know where that is.
Well, then what I'm saying, I mean, it was kind of in the ghetto and hidden. It was super hidden. People couldn't find. I was behind bushes to find me. And this was the year of 2019.
Yeah.
I was there a whole year.
Yes.
And I told myself, one day I'm going to have a shop on a main street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what happened. I was there a whole year. I had been losing work. Hey, where'd you go? Did you move? Where you at? Oh, no, I'm still here. Well, I can't find you. Well, I moved to that place. No car would pass by. Can you imagine just being the front guy that lived in front of me? Brought me like 2-3 cars. I mean, he said, "Hey, don't be upset." One day, in 2000, it was in November, December. Mm-hmm. I went to go look at this place. It was by my mom's house where I was raised. That place was always a tint shop for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
The people that were there had to move out because of some issues.
Whatever. Mm-hmm.
But here's the funny thing. They moved to the back. So So I called that guy, the owner of the property. I asked him, "Would you lease me to be a tint shop there?" He said, "Yeah, sure. I'll charge you $1,800 a month." I said, "Really?" That to me, that was cheap and not my area.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." So I think I can do it. And I started looking at my square reports and all my cash I was making. I think I'll make enough. So sure enough, I moved in there in January of 2020. Okay. This is on Main Street. Bunch of cars pass by everywhere. And to top it off, it was a tint shop before. So people still go to this day and say, "Hey, they reopened this place." No. It's a
Lonestar.
Yeah, there you go. Like, well, I don't care. Can you take my car or not? All right, let's do it. So it helped me out a lot, Mike, because people stop and say, "Hey, that tint shop opened up again."
Yeah. Here's
what happened, though. I have competitors next to me. It's like if you had your guy you were talking about next to you. Right next to you.
Yeah.
And just separating you is a fence. That's it. And the customer can walk to there. I knew they were there, but good thing to this day, we haven't had any problems. The sun shines for them, sun shines for me. And you've seen in the forums, that's a big deal too. There's shopping centers where they want to open up, and there's another tint shop in that shopping center. I don't know if you've seen that in the forums as well.
What about what about it? I mean, if there's a tint shop in the mall, and is that a problem? I mean, what I see in the forums, I don't know if you see the same thing. I mean, we're two different people. We observe different things. Right. But everybody complains about one fucker being 1 block away, or the fucking guy next door is $99, or the guy over there is using this brand, therefore I can't use it. Everybody has a fucking complaint about why that can't make it. Sergio Medrano is in McAllen, Texas. You told me your horror story since you were 13 to right now, and you've moved more than Forrest Gump traveled America.
4 shops and I lost customers.
And then, how's it going now? I mean, you're at the current $1,800 building right now.
And right now I have a front desk girl and I have 2 guys working. And I'm here. They're making money and I'm here talking to you. Stress-free.
So you have 2 people installing film. Who taught them?
One of them, funny story. Remember, we can go back to when I was telling you about a buddy was trying to build tint? Okay. That guy, he had another tinter in there that was going to teach me. But when I got there, he didn't want to teach me for, I don't know what, I don't know. And I respect that. I really do. Because sometimes you teach them and they leave. I totally respect that. That was his mentality. And I respect that 100%. You know, my dad, he taught me not left hand. So I see where he's coming from. He was like, no, whatever. So I show up and he was going to teach me and then he left. But anyway, we became good friends after a couple months. I went to go look for him and we ended up building a great relationship. Okay. And I help him out. And when I'm gone and I need extra help, he'll go and cover for me. All right. He'll even go do my flat glass jobs. And I would just give him a small commission. I get the rest profit. Cool. So we build a great relationship. Sometimes, you know, you get into a heated with a tinter that you don't like or whatever. I don't know. We managed to build a great relationship, me and him. So he has experience before I do. He's been tinting more than 7 years.
And you asked him to join you?
Yeah. No, he'll come and work for me.
Okay.
He'll come do, when I go out of town, when I go to an off-SEMA, whatever, or if I'm gone, when I play in a band as well. So he'll go in on a Saturday and help out. Sometimes if we had a great week, there's no point in opening. I give my guys, the weekend off. If we had a tremendous week.
Wow.
But I care about my guys.
So Lonestar is about 2 years old.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'll fight you on that. At least 3 years old.
Okay, 3 years old, más o menos Lonestar, moving around 4 locations. You finally found somewhere, a little niche, a little corner in the world. And you found somebody más o menos to 1099. I don't know if it's 1099 or W2. I really don't know the difference. W2. Which is the person that kind of helps you, kind of like a contract version style. You have that person right now covering for you right now.
Yeah, and I have my guy that I trained 3 months ago, when I started Sunstoppers in April. He came to my shop and asked me for a job. And I've had helpers. I've hired helpers in the past, but in reality, it wasn't them messing up. It was me.
Okay.
I was no problem. They were not growing, and good thing I learned from my mistakes, and I was able to change that with this guy that I have now, that guy that I'm training.
You're saying that they were not growing because you didn't know enough to teach them.
No, and I didn't have the right patience. I didn't have the right structure. I didn't have the right system. A lot of things were wrong, Mike.
So now you can actually train somebody to tint.
Yeah, because now I've learned where to start, where to aim. I've been shocked, I guess blessed with this guy because I can literally, this guy's putting back windows and shrinking in less than a month and like nothing. Boys, and I go look at his work and there's no debris, there's no, sometimes I feel like he pushes the water harder than I do, better than I do. And I want him to be a little better than me, that way he can.
He's probably using a dirty squeegee then.
He uses, I won't tell you what he's using because I don't want to start problems. He uses a white one. That's all I'm going to say. And he uses what you guys like to use, the orange. But his favorite.
But you know what? That idea, the biggest problem of anybody, and I think you've already been in the industry long enough, even if Lonestar has existed 3 years, you've been monkeying around and looking at the ups and downs of the industry, the hardest parts of the industry, whether it's going to be hiring somebody, finding a fucking building.
The winters.
Well, in your particular, you already know more than half of the country suffers from being under the fucking snow for 6 months, 5 months. And I'm always like, I don't think I could ever live north of San Antonio because I don't like, to me, it's very depressing to not see work because of snow. It's very depressing. So I get depressed mentally, but at this point right now, it don't matter because I already have enough clientele. My customer base is very big, repeat, and our fame on Facebook and our local media, they know who we are as far as a window tint company, right? So I don't have to worry about that anymore, but I did worry about that before. But now you have Lonestar for the last 3 years, you already know all the problems, of course. You already been through them. You weren't in charge, and money wasn't a factor back then because you were just an employee or a helper of your dad. But now that you run the show and you have to shell out your fucking money, now it becomes really important. The square footage, as you were saying, how much for the building, the aircon or no aircon, the heater or no heater, and this. But all of a sudden, things are falling into place for 23-year-old Sergio Medrano. You're fucking young as young can be. You have the whole life ahead of you. And I'm glad that you found the forums because I am a worker of the forums. I am a moderator in several groups. And what I do is I look at talent. I look who's rising, the rising stars who are doing very well as far as application. I look for tips and tricks. I look for all these things because they're important for me because although I thought before that I knew everything, I realized that I don't know a whole lot. There's a lot to be learned on a daily basis. The cars change on a daily basis. There's new tips and tricks and whatever. Some people don't like to share them. Somehow I have to go to the forum and somehow catch them when they're distracted and take away that little tip and trick without them knowing that I copied it, because that's what I do.
That's right.
I use it for research. I don't use it to go dick around or fucking be funny. That's part of my persona. Dirty and Dirty Promotions is my persona on the internet, but I'm a very big time researcher. I'm a university graduate and big time researcher. I love it. I love to do it. But I do love my job as far as like applying window film.
Yeah. I mean, you do a lot of videos, great videos.
Now, that stuff I do it for a lot of reasons. Of course, I want to give it away for free.
Mm-hmm.
The people that ask me all these series of questions, because I get my inbox flooded with people. Man, I have a debris here, and what's this? It's a lot of fucking creases. That's what it is. And like, you know, we can't help each other through DMs too much. No. I need you to give me a video of what you're doing, and then I can help you. Or go to my YouTube, look at all the videos that it's a library, right? You know, like 120 videos or something. Look at them. And then you tell me. But see, when people tell me, well, but give me the link and give me this, I kind of start losing faith in people. Sergio, this industry or any industry, if you want to be an attorney and you want to be the best attorney, if you want to be a fucking shoe shine guy and you want the very best tips and tricks of shining the best shoes in the fastest time and que se miran perrones and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to either trial and error for many years, or you're going to have to do a lot of research. And when people tell me they don't want to look for my videos, it insults me, because they have no idea how many decades I traversed in hardships like you, of sweating in a fucking shop and doing this, so that I could bring in something that I consider of value to them that they're learning, because I want to pass the knowledge to them. And then, well, but can you put the link right here and hold my hand and put play in the video? It's really bothersome to me. It fucking annoys, because they don't want to help themselves. They want to be spoon-fed, and those people are not going to last in industry. This industry is not for that. You're going to be an employee forever. You're going to be there doing that.
You have an employee mindset.
You already changed from being an employee to being a business owner.
That's my goal. That's what I want to do.
You are already a business owner.
Well, I own a job. I want to own a business.
Well, you have a business, Lonestar window tinting, but dude, that's where it starts. Yeah. Everybody starts at zero.
Right.
At $1.
100% right.
At $10 and $100 and whatever, and it goes. And you're already starting, and you're 23, and I'm very happy that you found the forums. There's a lot of help from a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Now let's go back, and I'll ask you a question related to the forums. Which are the people that you follow in the forums that you believe have been instrumental to your success?
Well, you know which one.
Okay, cool.
That bald man,
Mr. Mike Burke. I love him to death.
That's one. And that and his team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one. The biggest.
I mean, there's not. I'm not saying one person. I have a lot of different people I learn stuff from. A lot of them. The
ones I really pay attention to is Dave Dellinger. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
He's real smart and he's real humble about things, because he will help you. Because I can feel when he's told me things, he's been 100% honest. Like when I tried First Cut software, he was 100% honest with me. When I was building my peel board, he gave me the best tips. Hey, do this, don't do what other guys do, and he helped me out. That's one guy that I look up to. I look at him.
Cool.
I like. There's a lot of people, dude. There's a few.
Application techniques, like in the who do you kind of see? Not too many people post a lot of videos. What about the Warriors, the window tint Warriors?
Sean, if you're gonna do like porch and all that, and you're new to that, his channel is bomb. And he tints kind of similar to me, kind of, not too much.
The window tint Warriors.
And at the end of the day, I feel like you tint one way, Mike. And like what you were saying, they won't spoon fit. That's not how the world works. You think I learned how to play the saxophone just watch this YouTube video? No. When you go out there in the real musician life, you gotta just like improvise. You gotta know what you're doing
on the fly.
You know, it's like us. Okay, they taught us use what you already know. You know how to clean. You know how to shrink. Use your brain a little. Figure it out. You know, when I did the cat eye windshield on the old Chevys, you remember? The corners were really tight. I kept creasing it. And I said, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I just left it overhang, boom, I solved my problem. But if I go sit there and start looking everywhere else, you gotta. I
mean, if you look, you're gonna find stuff.
Right. But use it's the way you tell them, okay, I got this content, use what I have, kind of use your brain, what I am showing you here, and see if you can apply it to that. Mm-hmm. I remember I called you a while back, hey, I can't do this Volkswagen. And we said, just pull a sweep, boom, there it is. Now, when I get a tight car, now I know, hey, now I know.
You apply that technique to everything
else.
There you
go. That's all it is. That's it. Yeah. It's the same with the sax. The piano player who okay, play this. All right, I just follow it. Okay, let's stay here, but let's mix it up. Okay, and that's it. It's not rocket science. It's not just use your brain, And we get lazy, like I get real lazy when I want to do bobcats and all that stuff.
I don't like to do.
No, me neither. But what I'm trying, I hate them too. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're stuck, you don't know what to do.
I mean, you don't have any fucking tractor videos out there.
No.
And you get a bobcat, you're going to have to figure it out.
Or bolts. I did a bolt the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was with my other guy, and he was struggling too. The one that's...
Yeah, he knows how to tint already.
And he's like, man, we're struggling. Let's do this. Let's use our brain. I was doing a house yesterday with the old wood frames, and I was getting pissed off. I was throwing away film, and I told my helper, you know what? Watch what I'm going to do. Luckily, I don't know what I did. I guess my mind changed at that point, Mike. Mm-hmm. And I used what my dad would say: work on your prep better and work on your cuts. The cut was all my mental game. That's all it was, because I wasn't there. I wasn't focused. And what a coincidence, Mike! In less than 30 minutes, I finished that job. When I just used what I already know and I applied it. Oh, there it was, how to take off wood frame. No, you're not going to find it. You got to finish the job. The customer's waiting on you. They already paid you. Get it done. Figure it out. No excuses. Now, there's going to be times where you're going to have to say, okay, this is not worth my time. You're not going to sit there and do like a tractor when you got like 10 Fords outside or a car or something. Don't be stupid either. You got to make money too. Exactly. And I know it offends some customers. It offends them. But at the end of the day, you got to, just got to work, make money. You're there also too to make money. You're not there to, I'm bragging rights. I'm going to show them. That's not what it's about. I see that a lot on the forums too. I see a lot of these old veteran tinters. Oh, that's easy. Oh, that's cake. Yeah, it's cake to you now, but at one point it was hell for you at one point.
Of those veteran tinters and those people that say cake and whatever, what do you think that you would want them to say, or what would Sergio say to the people?
It's like when you respond. I've noticed how you respond. I like the way you respond. Either if you're not going to help them, don't say anything at all. Simple as that.
I always ask him in the very most polite way, like, could you be a darling and upload a video of what you're saying?
It's so easy
so that we could all can learn, because the person asking for help and everybody gets cake and fucking this and a brick in the back window and all these kind of things that have nothing to do with solving the problem. But for them to become a way for installers to go and fucking waste a third of their day and stuff like that. And it's cool. I don't like to waste my time.
No.
What I do is I do research, and it happens to be that when I'm doing research, somebody has a legitimate question, and then I'll pop in and try to help them. But I'm going back to the same thing. I said, if I don't have a small video, DM me a 2-minute video of you prepping this window, of you laying it, because you're talking about specs and you're blaming because the filter, the water, this sucks and that film sucks and this that. But I'm not looking. Film sucks. Like I'm not looking.
Mike, I used one ply for a whole year. How are you gonna sit there and tell me the film sucks? That's just you. It's the same back to my music. I've seen guys with the crappiest pawn shop saxophones for $100 play it better than my $2,000, $3,000 one. I'm dead serious, Mike.
Yeah.
So it's like what you say. That's my favorite one. It's the film.
Well, yeah, it's el mono, no? El mono tiene. So I said, DM me a video, man. I'll help you out. I mean, stop wasting your time with these people that are giving you a hard time. That's one of the things that I think that instead of being a little bit, probably 15% of the responses are instrumental, they're helpful. And then the other ones are just, monkeying around. It's cool. I mean, forums are going to be forums. We can't change them. We just got to, like a friend of mine a long time ago, said, You got to go and navigate and look for the gold nuggets and extract them. Get the information that you need, and then be done.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't fucking like a post of this, that. You don't have to. Just thumb through it. Don't comment if you got nothing good to say, and that's it.
You know, and like it was the other day, I had a question. You know, the Explorer windows are real tight, the older
yes.
ones. Okay. And one guy just put, like a guy that really wanted to help, hey, just open the gasket. That's it. That's all I needed. And with that little tip, boom, I finished the window by minute. But I was so, intimidated by it, and I got to start cutting here, cutting there. And little did I know, with that little help that he gave me, boom, I figured that problem out.
And those are little nuggets that really go over people's heads.
Yeah.
They give a tip and I've been doing it for 20 years and this is the way it works and blah, blah, blah. Blah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Like, you're not sharing anything. Somebody shares something, but I'm glad that at least you are able to look throughout all that bullshit and extract the information that you need. And this is how I believe forums are good for us. Window tint forums.
Mike, one thing I want to tell you, and it's something that bothers the hell out of me in a lot of industries, but most I see this a lot in my music industry, but more in a lot of tint. I can't stand when I meet a tinter with a lot of ego in them. What I mean is those guys, like you said, like, I don't get that much specs, or my cuts are better than his, or there's always that one guy, especially when I go to the tint off or when I go to you can feel those people that just think they're better than you, or they can do PPF better than you, or tint better than you. Let me tell you something. We all come from the bottom, like you said. Okay. If great, you've been doing stuff how you do it for 40, 50 years, that's fine. But I mean, that's just one thing I can't stand about the industry.
Well, of course, and one of my jobs as a moderator is when I see some very negative comments or something that is talking down on somebody or telling that, you know what, you don't belong in this group if you have a stupid question like that. My job as a moderator is really to go and delete comments that are not helpful for the group.
You have to go babysit grown man.
I mean, if you really have nothing to say anyway, I mean, what are you doing here? You got 40. If you already have all the experience in the fucking world,
there you go.
What are you doing here in this fucking forum?
Exactly.
If you're not here to help, then just stay home and be out of the forums. Yeah. You don't have to come and destroy the house.
Don't come in here bully people. And I get it. It's so easy because there's times I see something I'm like, but you know what? I recall those days, and I say, you know what? My conscience kicks in. I say, I remember being in those shoes. I just scroll up or help if you don't have. That's just my mentality.
Sergio Medrano, you're 23 years old. You own Lonestar window tint. You recently converted to Sunstoppers. They carry the Expel brand of window film. You're gonna go places. You're gonna have growth. I'm real proud of you that you're making those steps. And Sergio Medrano will make all the necessary steps, I'm confident. Something works for you, something doesn't work for you, you're always going to modify your future because the future is always in your hands. You have the forums as help, you have other people, mentors that you call as help and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for visiting me in McAllen, Texas. What is Sergio Medrano from 10 hours of drive away doing in McAllen, Texas?
One dude, you were a big influence because some of your videos are stuff that, like I go back to what I said about my dad about the old cars back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what you show out there to the newbies is legit stuff that's gonna help them. I see some things on the YouTube videos that doesn't help. No, I see all this. Put this and none of that works. For some reason, everything you've taught seriously works, in a way, the majority of it, I remember you posted the video of the Colorado, remember? I was like, hey, that's how you do the Colorado.
The hump.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, Mike. You get what I'm saying? And I said, I gotta meet this man. This man's a huge influence in the industry. I gotta meet him. He's worth my time. I gotta meet this guy.
I thought you were gonna go on a worldwide tour of Medrano Does America.
Oh.
And I realized that you purchased one flight to McAllen, Texas, and tomorrow you're gonna go back.
Yeah, back to work.
Back to work. You know what? It gives me great pleasure to know that you're actually here. You've been telling me for the last 6 months or 8 months or a year, man, te voy a visitar, cabrón.
Yeah,
Voy para allá. And I was like, yeah, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
And I told you I was going to go to your area because I have to pass through your area to go to other areas, to California, whatever. Because now I'm going to be turning into a sales rep for my brand of film, my company, expanded, whatever. My guys are in the back doing their job.
Thank God.
Ball and chain is operations, and then the salespeople are salespeople. The shipping guy is shipping guy. My son is also helping with the shipping. He doesn't like tint. It's okay. I mean, I respect whatever he wants to do. Doesn't matter to me. That's not for as long as he's working. That's all that's important to me.
As long as he can.
So, what do you envision? You're 23. You're fucking a newbie. You're a spring chicken. What do you envision, at least for the next 2-3 years? What is Sergio Medrano, Sunstoppers, Expel? What are your plans for at least the next 2 years?
One, we're gonna buy property. Me and Mom talked about it. Like I told you, our family got fed for over 20 years from the tin industry. I'm so grateful for that.
Yes.
You know, so my father was able to take care of 3 kids, build a house, and a wife.
This is a profession.
Yeah. So
this building that you see right here
is because whatever, but that's one. I want to buy property to help not just me, possibly my father, because my father's just getting older. He's 62 years old, 61, and you know, your back starts hurting a little bit, your knees, whatever. Yeah. But the same thing happened to me anyway. But that's one goal I have, is to finally settle down like you have here, a property. I'm sick and tired of wasting money on leasing, and that's something I'm focused on a lot right now. Second is to try to open another location. Where I'm going to do everything in my power to try to open another location on this Big Spring area, because the demand is there.
Yes. The
demand is there. And the reason, you didn't ask me, the reason I joined the Sunstopper team, you asked me.
I didn't ask you?
No.
Well, remember, my interview is about Sergio Medrano, his trials and tribulations as a window film applicator, how you learn, how you came up in the business. And obviously now, in the latter part, you said April of this year,
yes,
you became a Sunstopper. Now franchisee.
And it was a membership according to mine, but it feels
well. But there is a reason you did it.
Yeah, there is a reason.
He is a very big mentor of yours.
Big mentor.
He has a lot of stories. You believe that his system works. See, I don't want people that are viewing here to think that it is a plug or I'm selling products. I'm not selling anything.
No.
I want applicators to know that this is the applicator Sergio Medrano, myself, Dirty, Mike Sanchez. And we're discussing something about how we came up in this world, because everybody has a question: how much money? Where do I rent? When do I leave my boss? You know, how do you hire employees? How to do this? A lot of how-tos, and I just want to get your feedback, because you already have all that info. I have my own info. Everybody has different info. There's not going to be a road plan of this is the exact way that you're going to be.
There's no yellow brick road. No. Everybody has to feed it. I come here to see what I saw what you have a little bit. You were nice enough to open your doors for me, and not a lot of places do that. Like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of tenants that don't want to share their secrets or whatever. They're
not going to share it. They're not going to, you know, I mean, they might allow, hey, what's up, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I wish I had more cars that the guys would be doing right now. They're actually they're in lunch right now. Maybe as soon as they're out of lunch, we can do, I want to see you tint windows.
Okay.
I charge money to teach people to tint. I'm not going to charge you money, but I want to see what you tint windows. It intrigued me that you're doing this from 13. All these old school tricks that I know about, you didn't apply them back then because you were small and you didn't know it was going to become a thing. Now that it's a thing.
No, I did not, Mike. I thought I was going to be behind an office, answering the phone. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, now and I hope, let's go to lunch. Yeah. Thank you for being in McAllen. Thank you for visiting. And the guns, I'm not going to give you any of them. They're my treasure. Like
these are big deal, guys. If only you guys knew this.
How do you know about those guns anyway? I mean, you're 23 years old. They weren't even like.
Go back to what my dad. My dad had probably like 4 that he could have fixed and threw them away.
What?
So when I see those things, to me they're gold. I will pay good amount of money for that because I know the value they have. I have one of these right now in my shop, and it's my toy.
My advice is buy 4 more of those.
If you can find one. I had one more. I bought it at a pawn shop in Denver, and it gave up after a month because it was really beat up.
Oh, it's already.
Yeah, but
well, it's not so much the gun was. gave out is that the people using it, they drop them. You saw my system in the back.
Yeah,
that
I've had the same thing.
They don't fucking touch the floor.
Yeah.
I, in my videos, sometimes put them on the floor, but I put them on the floor. I don't, you know, a lot of people do tail lights. They get a gun and then tail light and then
yeah,
I'm like,
that's when you break the elements
like,
inside.
oh man, you're gonna break everything.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Well, let's wrap our interview. Wrap it up, and let's go ahead and go to lunch.
All right.
I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Thanks a lot for giving me my kind of
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
I hope everybody enjoyed it. Okay. All right.